But kids believe what they see. I don't think it's a good idea to show hitting on a kids show.
You sure about that, Bray?
It's not my fault if you made a plane that can't fly.
I told you not to touch it!
X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya. First we gonna rock, then we gonna roll, then we let it pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya.
Today we're going to be watching a show with a simple message coming straight from the heart. If you believe in yourself, you'll find the place to start. Or at least that's how I think the lyrics go. Yeah, we're just going to go with that. Based on a children's book series of the same name, this was a show I watched when it was first on the air. However, unlike SpongeBob where I kept up with the show, Arthur was one that I didn't keep up with because, well, I grew up. Yeah, I know it's odd for the cartoon fanatic to say that you're too old to watch certain cartoons, but given that I could be using that time to be watching Always Sunny and 30 Rock, well, you gotta pick your battles, right? It's funny that I didn't even know the show was still on the air, surprising me to know that it beat SpongeBob to be the longest running children's animated program on television, even leading to countless specials and even a spin-off. With all that said, does this show keep up with the times? Or is it no good, no thanks to viewers like you? Let's find out. The show follows its main character Arthur Reed along with his family and friends of mixed animal species in the fictional town of Elwood City. Though calling it a city is a stretch since it's mostly a suburban town. He's got two sisters including the infamous Dora Winifred, which whom we call DW. This is despite the fact that I thought her name stood for disaster, waiting to happen. Mostly because she makes Arthur and his friends' lives a living hell. She knows which buttons to hit, much like in the iconic episode Arthur's Big Hit. In the episode, DW takes Arthur's model plane and breaks it. The reaction it leads to has become an internet sensation, leading to memes after memes after memes. Arthur balls his fist in a quick cut from fist to DW falling to the ground. What I find funny about this clip is how dramatic they build up Arthur's anger in such a quick but matter-of-fact way that compared to tapping DW back on the floor with barely a bruise, made it look like Jake LaMotta's fight in Raging Bull. It's also a clever cut in that it doesn't show DW actually getting hit, since the violence would be a step too far for PBS to show on TV. It's over the top, but in traditional kids show fashion, shows the consequences of fighting on both sides. However, even as an adult, I don't think Arthur was given enough credit for why he got angry at his sister. Instead, he gets a punishment.
Arthur, this means no TV for a week.
What?
Yeah, you can use that time to think about what you did. Play a game with your sister, build a model airplane. Oh, sorry. I guess it would be a good idea to talk about the show's title character. Arthur Reed is your typical awkward boy character that was popular in the 90s. Doug started this trend where animated shows had awkward boys going through slice-of-life scenarios with his quirky cast of characters, but often the shows that followed would give a different variation on the kind of awkward boy protagonist. Pepper Ann and the Proud Family were the awkward boy show with a girl, Hey Arnold was football-headed awkward boy, Lloyd in Space was the awkward boy in space, Teacher's Pet was the awkward boy show with a dog, even Rugrats took a stab at the awkward boy show with All Grown Up. Much like Doug, Arthur has its fair share of quirky side characters, including the smart one, the hungry one, the rich one, and the tomboy one who may or may not be in a forced relationship with. Truth be told, I always figured she had it in for the rich kid, but that's just my opinion. Of all the characters, one of my favorites is Binky the Bully, though calling him the bully would imply that he was a mean character. However, because of his lack of insight and occasional sensitive personality, he tends to be one of my favorite characters.
I like books with pictures of lots of pretty flowers. Being crushed by a giant pterodactyl.
A lot of episodes feature the kids working through personal issues as well as community issues that range from natural disasters, reading, autism, etc. Kinda what you expect from a PBS show focused on educating and entertaining on a cost-effective manner. You may as well got an episode with Mr. Rogers. Oh look! An episode starring Mr. Rogers! Didn't see that coming! Every so often, like The Simpsons, the show drops off celebrity guests. One of those includes big-time actor Matt Damon. Oh wow, they got Matt Damon in the show? I wonder what he looks like. What the hell is that? Why do they put so much focus on the face? There really wasn't a need to go with dimples, he's a cartoon character. Seeing the focus of detail for something that doesn't need to have that many details is super distracting. Sometimes unnecessary. Take his hair for example. His hair parts around his non-existent ears, which you know can't be ears since he's an aardvark and he's got aardvark ears. So it makes it look like he's got 2 pair of ears rather than 1. If you think that wasn't silly enough, the animation inspired yet another insane meme where he's featured in Arthur's daydream being told that he'll never eat lunch in this town again.
You tell Arthur Reed that he'll never eat lunch in this town again.
This scene out of context works on so many meme levels. It's another gloriously inspired animation that could only be brought to us by the insanity that is Arthur. Speaking of the animation, the show has gone through a couple of animation studios in the past, which speaks for itself when you look at the changes in animation. Can you even imagine this being the same show when you compare its earlier seasons? Geez, you get more fluid flash style animation from the PC games that came out when the show first premiered. How can you imagine this being the look of the show now? Now, as someone who's making fun of the look of a PBS show, I can't fault the show's production value since it is public broadcasting. Basically saying they can and can't afford to pull off certain things when the money is coming from government funding and the iconic phrase, viewers like you, means it's not fair to fire shots at its production. Even the original animation wasn't that great, and there were moments when they could copy the look of other shows and you know they had to work on a budget. I think it's only fair to acknowledge that this format is a little less consistent to the look of its original run. Then again, the people around its original run aren't really watching the show, so I don't know where I was going with this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and give my rating. Arthur as a show manages to hold up in certain areas, making it good entertainment for kids with a good commentary. It's hard to say that it's a consistent show, seeing how it's gone through multiple changes in the years. However, when you got a show that's been around for 20 years, changes are bound to be made. Some of those changes are appropriate to the intention of what the show was going for, while others, not so much. But it's okay. However, simply saying Arthur is an okay show may not be fair since it's managed to maintain quality for all these years. It's a good show for your kids. I think it's fair to say it's worth it. So my question for today goes out to the parents watching this review. Is this a show that you think is good for your kids? Comment below and let me know what you think. And as always, if you like what you see, comment below, subscribe to the channel, like the video, do all that fun stuff, and check out my Patreon page. Now I'm Joey.T.Cartoon.P, and thanks for watching this review on the Cartoon Palooza.